The other element here is the blur on the phone. This, by the way, was the top utility website competition that several PC magazines ran. And I decided to pick the subject, just the subject of utilities, because I thought maybe I'll find us there. We're not there. There are about 300,000 applications for the phone developed every year. Believe me, we're not on the viewing screen of consumers. So we have a problem getting there. This is the #1 app for mobile, Facebook. 660 million people at this time are on Facebook. Now, I have to tell you, this made me ill, because years ago I built my own homepage on Facebook to see what people did on it. So this article, I think this was at USA Today, and this was talking about why Facebook has moved to such a viral nature. And it has to do with not just the youth that we know are on there, but it's the parents and the grandparents staying in touch with their children. That is what's driving Facebook right now. It's people who are not easily getting in contact with each other, feeling they are in contact with each other. So the number of senior citizens on Facebook is rising at a staggering rate, and anybody with children who are no longer living with them, this is the way to stay in touch, including sisters and brothers in the same family who don't live in the same town. Now, you may dismiss this as just silly wastes of time, and I'm not arguing with that reaction you have, because I had it too, but I have to tell you, this is about connecting with friends and, believe it or not, sharing your life. Now, you know, to me, that's like, excuse me? I don't need to spend my time doing it, but watch on Facebook on how people are doing this. Many of you probably recognize Skype, we just bought out for a ridiculous amount of money, is because people want to see each other on the phone, okay? Bump, another one of the top apps. People want to share what works on the phone, and they don't want to work at it. They just bump the phone into the other one, and it shares the contacts and the information. We are disconnected as an industry. We're not thinking where the customer is. And there's just a whole series of other ones on Twitter. Now, let me give you a way to think about this, because otherwise this is too vague. You could sit there and say, Joel, you're just criticizing where we are, but you're not giving me anything useful. Let me try to offer something that I think is helpful, and we're struggling with this ourselves because we're moving our apps to Facebook and things like that. So, you know, those of you who have our calculator, you're going to have a Facebook interconnection to it. We're just figuring out how to do it, because indeed there's several ways to do that. But focus on humor and fun. Boy, that's that. Joel, we're boring. We want energy efficiency. If you can't make it humorous or can't make it fun, don't even try. Focus on humor and fun. That is what people will actually want to share. They don't want to learn. They don't want education. They want fun. We're all so tired of our life, we want fun. And you may need to include a little bit of edginess in it. And I'm going to demonstrate this, because you go, no, Joel, we're just the utility industry. We're very factual. Well, I'm going to show you an ad that Southern Company ran, and indeed, the customers loved it. The management hated it. So I'm going to show you that in a minute. But I want you to think edgy. Edgy to you is actually mainstream and comfortable to the people you're trying to reach. We are out of touch. We think things are edgy. Frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn. Do you know that that phrase almost ruined the ability to publish that movie? And you all know the movie. That phrase was too edgy. If you can't put an edge on your content, I'm not sure you can break through to people. Now, also, and several of you are doing this. In fact, we were talking last night, so I got on Bark's Facebook page. And that was a great presentation yesterday. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. But last night, you mentioned that Bark actually had a Facebook page. So I went online to see what was on that page. And, you know, there were some really kind of fun things on there, believe it or not. You know, you might want to go take a look on Bark Electric's Facebook page. But you've got to be willing to take customer feedback and manage it. And there were a bunch of outages that you had to manage. But it is interesting what happens when you give people the chance to talk. They actually admire the way we handle outages. They understand how difficult this is. They really appreciate how hard linemen work. And when they go online to actually post that, it does a lot to raise your image in the community. And so you might want to look at Bark, because you did have several bad storms hit you, and the customers were raving about how well you responded, knowing full well that it would take hours. And, I think it took 12 hours to finally restore everybody. So isn't that interesting that I know that about Bark and I never talked to anybody there? Now, issues bother us, and we tend to be very combative. I'm not going to bore you with detail, but I am going to focus on the one. I've raised 4 daughters in a previous life before I married Susan, my wife. Many of you know, the darling of the industry. Well, in a previous marriage, my oldest daughter, who I adopted when she was 6, was a bit of a on-the-edge style child. And at the age of 16, she came to me and she said, "Dad, I want to talk to you about the pill." Now, I had no preparation for this. It just came out of the blue one evening. My first reaction was to send her to the room and lock her up and wait until she was 27 and I would unlock the door. But that's just male parenting hormones at work and my brain just reacting to the question. I managed to suck up enough deference to just say to her, "Tracy, what exactly do you want to talk about the pill?" She says, "Well, Dad, I'm overweight, and if I get a diet pill, I can lose the weight." I am absolutely going, "Okay, we can go and talk to the doctor." Well, after she lost the weight, she wanted to come back and talk to me about the other pill. But I had enough chance to actually get my head together on something that intrinsically made me angry. And what I realized was I was only going to have one chance to have my daughter come to me with a question that's that sensitive. And if I showed her that I wasn't willing to talk about her freedom of choice, I was going to lose the opportunity to influence her. The reason I tell you that is that's the moral obligation we have when customers talk to us about something that frankly makes us upset. We have the chance to build the relationship, expand it, and possibly, frankly, clear up some things that might have either been misunderstood or wrongs in the past. If we blow that chance, they can easily go somewhere else and spill their venom somewhere else. Now, let me give you some illustrations of edgy. Edgy in ways that you would say, this can't be true. The Center for Disease Control in Atlanta. Maybe you saw this on the evening news. But on Saturday morning, they released, because of the movie Revenge of the Zombies, they released an information article on their website about what to do in the case of an emergency. Now, you could go, "This is absurd, Joel." Not so quick. They want the message of what to do in hurricanes and natural disasters, and they knew that many youth were watching the movie Revenge of the Zombies, so they used it as a tagline, explained what zombies were, and then proceeded to offer content. This went viral, and it crashed their website. The idea here, when you hit something that is edgy, relevant, you will get traffic. Now, this isn't your issue, and I'm not trying to imply it is. I'm just trying to demonstrate a point. Here we have the Center for Disease Control, an organization that is dedicated to the well-being of Americans, and they're fighting all kinds of things that are diseases and problems in this country. But they wanted somebody to pay attention to a message. What did they do? They chose something just a little edgy. And that's the message I'm trying to get to. Efficiency First, on the other hand, is an organization that people, about 1,000 members, pay dear money to represent them in Congress and to try to lobby for energy efficiency measures. And I just went online to look at that. And let me just say that if you do go efficiencyfirst.org and read the blogs, you will find no comment, no comment, no comment, no comment. The members are paying $1,000 and everything they're doing is being ignored. If you don't have an edge, you won't cut through the fog. So let's go and take a look at my web page. This is my Facebook page. Isn't that a charming picture of me in there in the corner? That is just really engineering-ish. That is me sitting in front of my Mac, by the way, which I have a Mac and a PC on my desk. I have several computers on my desk. That's my daughter. That's the tough one there. Tracy. That's the one that gave me all the grief. Her favorite place is Lady Gaga. This disgusted me. It's one more illustration why I've been out of touch with my daughter. So I decided to go and look at Lady Gaga's website. And there's nothing about this lady that reminds me of any attribute I want in my daughter. But look at how many people are following Lady Gaga in the lower left-hand corner. She has the record of the most people. Why? She's edgy. Oh, she's disgusting. She's edgy. Okay? Here's her Twitter page. If any of you have Twitter accounts, you might want to see how many people are following you. She has 10 million. Here's Georgia Power's Twitter page. 3,000, 4,000. Now, it's only a regional power company. It's not a worldwide figure and a celebrity, and I understand that. But Georgia Power is on the move. And the reason that I'm going to show you this next one is they decided they had to try something different. Now, this is a whole series of ads that they ran using dogs on energy efficiency. And you can find them on YouTube. I'm just going to show you one. Hopefully, I'll play this. And it's just going to illustrate how energy efficiency can be made fun. Okay? And you could say, fun? Give me a break, Joel.
Well, we know dogs have heat systems, so our goal here is to harness that. Baxter node? Okay, I'm so sorry. It's interesting. If you add up all the leaks around your windows and doors, you end up with one of these in your house. It's a hole. It's a 3-foot hole. So Georgia Power wondered if I could train a dog to go after those things. Dogs are just natural finding savings. Sorry, guys.
Now, you could say, well, that's pretty silly. Look at what it did to their heads. If you can't read it on the back, it went from about 400,000 to about 550,000. They got another 150,000 viewers each month using dogs. If we are going to break through the noise and the haze, we have got to put an edge on our content. Now, I'm not telling you that this is right. This may not be the one you want to use. But personalize it. Make it relevant to people. Make them smile. If you have them smiling, you have got their attention. Stop being so clinical. Okay? All right. I get it, Joel. Now, what is interesting to me, and I never talked to our pastor about this, this is our church newsletter. This is the lead article. What? Yes. 11th Annual Car, Truck, and Motorcycle Show. They also have railroad shows in our church. We set up model railroads. It's really a fascinating thing. As a kid, it was one of my favorite things. I had a really small 8-foot track. But these are people who are adults, and this is what they do. And so, you know, you wind up with a huge amount of real estate in the gym with railroads, and they set up the cars, and people love classic cars, and so people come and visit, and you know, they meet people, and our church members meet them, and everybody gets together, and the fact is we're making people frown, go to hell, smile. People are happy looking at vintage cars. It's an enthusiast issue. People like them. I mean, you don't, but people love them. I have a wood boat that I built. I have a wood boat. It's a little wooden rowboat. It's made out of strips of wood. I built it actually partly to build a relationship with another employee in the company. That didn't work. But we had a great time building the boat. The boat has natural cedar planks in it. When I row that boat anywhere, people come and stop, and they want to talk because they remember the days when they saw wood boats. It's an enthusiast issue. It's a happy moment. People will high-five me on the lake. They don't know me from Adam, but they see something and they go, attaboy. Well, I've watched, remember even Peyton Colley? Do any of you remember Peyton Colley from NRECA? He would drive his 1958 and 63 Chevy down the road. I was with him one day, and people were high-fiving him all up and down the road because it's a memory, it's a positive memory to a youthful thing. To connect with people where they want to be connected. That's the message.